this episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website or online portfolio. For a free trial and 10% off your first purchase, go to squarespace.com and use the offer code LIES.
You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Jeannie. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's House of Lies After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's House of Lies After Show.
Yes. It's our song, everybody.
You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV.
House of Lies. That's right, guys. This is House of Lies, Season 3, Episode 10, Comeuppance. Comeuppance. And, guys, I'm your host, Roya Taheri, and joining me is the lovely Yael Tygiel.
Nice.
I was hoping you would fill it in.
Oh, I have to say my own name.
You want me to say it.
Yeah, I want you to say my name.
But I love the way you lie.
I'm Yael Tygiel, everyone. I don't lie, but I only speak the truth.
But I love the way you lie.
I appreciate that.
Well, let's just jump right into this episode. Right away, we meet with Jeannie and Friend because we tried looking up her name and credits, and we only got the actress's name.
Yeah, it's Rhea Seehorn, who people might recognize from Whitney, that short-lived sitcom on NBC. Yeah, her character is a DOJ representative from the Department of Justice and doesn't have a name, and I think there's a reason for that.
Yeah, well, hopefully, or maybe we just
haven't
see
learned
it
it
yeah,
yet.
so if you guys see it on iTunes or YouTube, comment below and let us know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyways, Jeannie's meeting with her friend to talk about a new deal with her, like a client, and it's a huge job. And basically, the friend tells her you need to drop Dollahide because they are drug dealers and they're just not good.
Yeah.
They won't work with Con and Associates as long as Dollahide is still a part of their team.
Well, it makes sense because, you know, they're the Department of Justice, and Con Associates is associating with known drug dealers and gangbangers, and that's not something that we don't know as fans, and it's not something that Con Associates doesn't know. I mean, look at last episode when we finally met Jang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you waiting for me to say it wrong?
No, I was trying to remember if I even said it wrong. Yeah, no, it was last episode we saw where they're getting their money. So it was not a surprising statement from the Department of Justice, but it was a really exciting way that things went about.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think Jeannie should keep pursuing after this contract?
I think what she ended up doing was a really interesting way to get out of her deal with Dollahide because Marty was clearly not going to push them out.
Yeah, so basically Jeannie goes to Marty after the lunch or breakfast or brunch that they have, that her and her friend have, and tells them that they can have this deal, but they just need to drop Dollahide. Marty's not really budging for it whatsoever.
Right.
And I don't know, Marty's kind of being a little stickler about it, but at the same time, he's going with what he thinks he should do.
Right.
You can't hold it against him.
Well, it's interesting because Jeannie says, you know, we're in too deep, we need to get out. And Marty says, we're in too deep, we can't. Which is such an interesting, because when we started this with them, we knew that it was going to be a problem. And they just kept going.
Yeah, which is funny, because Marty, even when he first met them, pointed out all the guns that Lucas had, and it was interesting that they're still going with it. So moving along from after Jeannie talks to Marty about the whole situation, we run into Caitlin, Doug, and Jeffrey in the kitchen.
Oh, God.
Caitlin is crying over her bagel as she's trying to smear some cream cheese on it. And Jeffrey comes right behind her, slowly puts his hands on top of her shoulders, and then starts to kind of massage. And she looks at him. Like, first she's accepting it, and then she realized, wait a second, Doug's over there.
Yeah.
Whoever's out there, there's only one person this could be. And it's Jeffrey.
He's so weird.
And then Doug makes a comment to Jeffrey, which I was thinking the entire time. He says, don't you have a creepy motel to go back to? He reminds me of Bates.
Well, he said, you know, Mother loves this.
Yes.
Mother loves when I do it. It was so creepy, and I love that they made a nice American Psycho reference.
Yeah.
It was great.
And so then we find out why Caitlin's crying is because she and her boyfriend broke up. And that's when Doug decides he's going to try and swoop in and make her feel better by telling her, oh, well, I'm going through a divorce.
Right.
She puts his hand on his shoulder, and then she starts to pull away, but he brings it closer to her.
Yeah.
And says basically that they're going through the same thing. Then the same boat, a little small tugboat.
There's a snug tugboat.
Snug tugboat.
Yeah.
And basically tells her, let's go out. Let's go on it. Well, it was a date, but it wasn't a date.
Right, because when you're both sad and lonely, you don't want to go home and cry. You want to go out and say, F those people that hurt us.
Yep.
F the people that broke our hearts.
And instead of Marissa doing that, being upset and controlling her deals, her feelings, she and Clyde are back at the hotel. Is it a hotel room?
She was in a hotel room, yes.
Okay, well, I mean, she's rich, might as well. In a hotel room, and basically Clyde's running late for work, and Marissa goes, why are you leaving? You need to just stay. Don't worry about it. They should be, on their knees for you, not the other way around.
Nice.
He goes, I know. Yeah, like,
I like
censorship.
how you put that. It's not what happened. That's not what was said.
Right. Yes,
but it
exactly.
was what was said.
So then Marissa's on the bed about to do a line of cocaine.
Lots of lines of cocaine.
Yes, lots. And Clyde makes a comment, well, didn't you just come out of rehab? Don't you remember that little place? And Clyde's about to leave. He finds his shoe in the fridge by the butter, of course.
Of course.
And Marissa, what was it that made him decide to come back to the bed?
So she threatens, jokingly, kind of. She half jokes that if he doesn't stay and do a line of coke, she's going to take her business elsewhere. And it seems like a half joke, but he's not sure if she's serious or not. And I don't think she even knows if she's serious. I think if he wouldn't have stayed, I think she would have done it.
Yeah, she is a wild card. She can do what she wants.
Super wild card.
Hence why her whole power got taken away from her siblings.
Right. I think it just really disappoints me that he did it. It disappoints me that
he did the cocaine?
Yeah. Not because he did cocaine, but because, like, Clyde, who was building his life up. You know?
I told you he wasn't at rock bottom.
No, of course not.
He was gonna get worse.
Yeah.
Didn't know how, but I knew he was gonna get worse. Yeah. And when I saw that cocaine with her on the bed, I'm like, oh, and he's gonna do it. And he does. So then he goes to work, high out of his mind.
Yeah.
And we he runs into us, I guess you could say, is Fred Armisen playing Vincent, the creator of One.
The meal replacement.
And Monica's chasing after him. Now, I got a question before we go into details about Vincent and what him and Monica are arguing about. Do you think Vincent has a website for One?
I think if he doesn't, I know exactly where he can make one.
And where could he make one?
He can make one on Squarespace.
Tell us more. What's so easy and fun about Squarespace?
Squarespace is one of the most amazing website making sites out there. It's super simple. It's drag and drop to make your site. You can sign up for free. You don't have to put in a credit card to begin. And right now, if you use our promo code LIES, you get 10% off your first purchase. So that's, first of all, the reason to start. But once you get there, you've got 24/7 support if you need any help. It's super easy to connect with your social media. So if you're like me and you're on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and YouTube and Google+, all of those things, you just connect it. Super easy.
Even AIM?
What's AIM?
I don't know.
What year do you live in?
1995?
Yeah. So no Squarespace for you.
Oh, okay.
But for those of us living in 2014, Squarespace.
And what's the code again?
It's LIES.
Perfect.
Because we love the way you lies.
You lies.
Yeah.
Well, Vincent, the creator of One, is running away from Monica, and he's yelling at her, basically telling her, you don't know what you're talking about. This is not what... the way she was trying to sell the product was not what he wanted.
Right.
He wasn't trying to aim for the college kids, which is exactly what she was aiming for.
Well, because she realized all the benefits of it. I mean, sometimes when people make a medication, for example, they start out searching for a medication for one thing and they end up with a medication for something else. For example, Viagra was started to be a headache medication, and now it is something completely different.
Learn from the side effect?
Yes. So what basically happened with One is that he made this meal replacement to end world hunger, which is such an interesting idea and concept and something amazing that I would love to know more about. But she saw the side effects and the benefits of it is that college kids were using it for energy stimulants and dietary supplements. Like, there are other benefits to it.
Smart, definitely smart. And I love how they casted Fred Armisen for that.
Oh, yeah.
He's so great. Just hearing him say the F word, I don't know what it is, but it's just so amazing to hear that.
Yeah.
He
played Vincent.
Yes, he played Vincent. Meanwhile, while Vincent and Monica are yelling at each other, we see Doug and Clyde coked out of his mind, talking about Doug's little dates with Caitlin.
Yeah.
Basically, Clyde calls Doug out and says, look, you're taking advantage of her feelings, and that's what you're doing. He goes, no. Doug goes, no, that's not it at all.
Right.
And then, let's see, that's pretty much it. Monica comes storming into the room, and she says, Doug, and Doug reacts, I didn't tell him about the focus groups. And Monica goes, that's not it. Let's go. And Clyde hears that, coked out of his mind, runs into the elevator after Vincent. He goes, let's have lunch. He goes, I don't eat. Okay, how about you watch me eat? And then Vincent says, is this some weird sex thing?
Such a great question.
Yes. He goes, no, just let's go.
Yeah.
So they go off to lunch or watch Clyde have lunch. And then we are taken to the Bloomingdale's meeting.
Oh, yes.
In Dollarhide. And basically, Lucas is doing amazing.
Right.
He's, I don't know, fluffing? Would that be the right term for the other Vincent, Mr. Vincent?
Mr. Vincent.
Yes.
No, I think fluffing works.
Yeah.
He's going around and he's like, look, we're working together. We're making, this guy is the business. I'm the swag. Here's how we're going to run things, and everything sounds and looks great. And it's really interesting to see how we went from last week where, we're taking this tour of Compton and then we see Dre making this terrible deal. All of a sudden we're back and they're pretending to get along and making things work and because they have to. They're stuck together and now they have to.
Yeah. And I was so happy to see Lucas acting that way and being professional about it.
Why can't he be like that all the time?
I don't know.
He seemed so sane.
He did. So Lucas invites Jeannie and Marty and Dre out for dinner for a celebration of it. For the marginalized. I totally butchered that word that I was trying to say.
Marginalized?
Oh, I said it right then. Perfect.
Yeah. No, he takes them out to dinner to celebrate how well the Bloomingdale's meeting went and how the next day they have a Barney's meeting.
Yep. And then we're taken back into Con and Associates where we are watching the focus group discuss one. And that's when Clyde busts in with Vincent. And Vincent starts yelling and says, F you, F you, F you to everybody. And he runs into the focus group and breaks it up. And my favorite line was when he yells at the kid, like, why don't you go, if you're trying to have fun, why don't you go take a Zima and something else? And the kid's like,
goes, what's a Zima? Oh, yeah.
And then Doug's response, this kid's not living. Or he's missing out.
Yeah. See, you and your aim can go enjoy a Zima.
Yes, there you go.
Exactly.
Hey, that's what I do. Anyways, yeah, so, sorry, you threw me off there. You brought aim back into this. So basically, Vincent is going off in the room. Monica goes chasing after him.
Right.
And she's pissed at Clyde. Which I forgot to mention, she smiled when she first came into the room with Doug and Clyde in the office that they were in. And she looked at Clyde and just starts laughing at him. You look like a clown. I forgot to mention...
The sad clown.
The sad clown. And then I forgot to mention the fact that she caught on that he was coked out of his mind.
It was clear from the way beginning that she knew that he was high.
Yeah.
And later on, she says that great statement about how she can pull it off, but he can't, which is great. But back to the focus group, what was interesting is, so now we've met Vincent and Mr. Vincent, and this is when I thought that Clyde, because he's, coked out of his mind, was going to make some sort of mistake between Mr. Vincent and F everything up. I thought that was the reason they both had the same name.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I think that it was a very, they missed an opportunity there.
Well, he's already kind of messing up on his own already.
Right, but I mean, as writers, you name two characters the same thing.
But it's a last name.
I'm just saying, there's a Vincent and a Mr. Vincent. There is room for something amazing to happen.
Maybe it will come out then.
I hope so.
Reasoning of why maybe they just forgot and they're like, Vincent sounds like a very good name.
Yeah.
Why does that sound familiar? And then, oh crap, later down the road. No proofreading, apparently.
Anyway.
So in the focus group, right before Vincent runs out, he tells Monica, big F you. And Monica just slaps him. Hardcore slaps him. And then Vincent walks away. I expected that, but I didn't expect it to actually happen.
That was the moment I knew that things were going to turn around and they were going to work things out.
Yeah.
She slapped him, and all I could think was, oh, he's going to like that.
He's going to like that?
Yeah.
In some freakish way?
Yeah, and then later on she says, I usually can tell the ones that need a good slap.
I didn't tie that in with that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good point, because even in the elevator, he does make this. Is this a weird sex thing? Oh, yeah. Yes, they're going to make Fred Armisen into a weird, freaky sex guy. Awesome.
Don't judge.
I hope he comes back.
Don't judge those with their wonderful, wonderful fetishes.
So, moving on
Yes.
to, we see Jeannie back into the cafe or breakfast place that her and her friend are at. And she tells her friend, I can get incriminating files for the DOJ. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the only way they're going to get rid of Dolla Hyde is if the DOJ takes them down.
Mm-hmm. And that's a win-win for both of them. Well, yeah, that's a win-win.
It's a win-win. It's, as her friend from the DOJ says, it's messier for Con Associates, but it seems to be the only way. Mm-hmm. And I think that if Marty and Jeannie were on the same page about that, it would totally work out really well.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Too bad. Well, maybe it could come in handy now.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that. But at least Jeannie's doing something smart, and it's very helpful in a way. So Jeannie has her meeting, and then we're back with Doug and Caitlin in the office at Con and Associates.
Yeah.
Where we see them getting ready to go out on their date, quote unquote, friendly dates.
Yeah, they're going out to be sad together.
And that's when we find out why Caitlin and her boyfriend broke up. Because she hooked up with Will.
In Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Which is really funny because that meant Doug had a chance if his wife didn't show up.
Right.
At least that's what I got out of it too.
I agree. That means that he would have had a chance in Chicago.
Because she was frisky and anyways. But then when Doug finds out that Caitlin slept with Will, he was furious. He was so it was like she was tainted goods now.
Right.
Do you think this is going to affect their relationship? I mean, with his wanting to go after her.
I think the fact that she hooked up with Will is not what's going to make him not want to go after her, although she is, tainted goods, as you said. I think the fact that she then said, you're right, I learned my lesson, I shouldn't hook up with coworkers. That's when he's like, wait, oh, never mind. This is a waste of time. Like, it's over, I missed that opportunity. So you think that
was the line that really ticked her off? Ticked him off, yeah.
Yeah, because it means when she hooks up with another coworker, it means, oh, she'll hook up with coworkers. But when she did it, realized it was a mistake, and was like, I'm never doing that again, he lost all opportunity, and she's tainted goods.
Okay.
That's my theory.
No, I got it. That makes sense. I like that theory. Yeah. That's good. So then we go back to the Dolla Hyde dinner meeting and a celebration. And that's when Marty figures out that Jeannie and Lucas actually hooked up a couple of times.
It surprised me that he didn't already know it.
Really?
Yeah, because when when Lucas calls about Dolla Hyde and is like, I want this amount, it was after the night that she spent with him. Yeah, I don't know. I just assumed he knew, but I guess he didn't.
Nope, because Lucas knew what kind of duck Jeannie would like. And
did she like the duck breast?
Yeah, and it was more flirtatious the way Lucas was reaching out to Jeannie than it was if they didn't hook up.
Right.
So yeah, it seemed like a good dinner. Marty's playfully joking around with Jeannie and kind of, I don't know if he was jealous. I think he was kind of like, good for her. She's learning the way. I don't know.
I thought he was jealous, but
a little bit jealous. Yeah, I did too. And then we are at the valet because Dre and Lucas are getting in their car. They're driving off, and then they get cut off by a van.
I don't want to talk about it.
Who has guns.
Not just guns.
No. They had assault rifles, and they shot at Lucas and Dre, which, if you notice, Lucas is just shocked, and he's getting shot at. And then Dre is not in the driver's seat anymore.
Yeah, he's climbed out.
Yeah, he's gone. So that's going to lead into my prediction in a second. But, so Lucas is dead.
So dead.
Yeah.
Not even like is he dead? No, he was gone.
You know what I really liked about that scene was the fact that in that whole chaos of everything, they could have played music over it, which they did, but you could also hear the clicking sound of the, was it the door open?
You heard the dinging of the door with the key still in the engine?
Yeah, I thought that was so, I don't know, something about it was just cool.
No, it's, again, the editing of this show is just so beautifully done that they really think of everything.
Yep.
Which is why I don't believe the Vincent thing was a mistake.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm just saying.
That's fair. But while that shooting's going on, we see Marty saving Jeannie, knocking her down. I don't know if that was aggressive, but too aggressive. But saves her. I mean, it's a spur of the moment. And as you saw, bullets were flying by.
Right.
So good. I'm really glad Marty did that. Which we end there, right? In the episode, it's just them. We walk up to Lucas and seeing Lucas is dead.
Lucas is dead. The one thing we missed was when Clyde goes back to the hotel room with Marissa.
That's right.
And is like, "Do you have more Coke?" And she says, "How dare you?"
Yep.
Of course I have more Coke.
Exactly.
And they just get high.
Yep. And then I forgot to mention that in the meeting with Doug and Caitlin calls out Doug on his whole scheme and starts yelling at him. And so good for her for knowing.
Yeah, good for her for standing up for herself.
So that's going to lead us into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Do you want to go first?
Yes. So in the preview for next week, we saw that Marissa sold McClintock Media, which she now has control over. She sold it. There's also the question of who shot Lucas and who was involved, and then the Jeannie and Marty situation. Also, Jeannie lost a tooth. Minor detail. My predictions are this. The McClintock being sold thing was obvious. We knew from the beginning that Marissa was going to F over Clyde. That was a given. Who shot Lucas? I have two theories. I know that Marty believes that Dre was behind it, but I think that would be too obvious. I think the DOJ did it. I think the Department of Justice organized the whole thing. That's my theory, because they needed to get rid of that. I know. I believe it. Don't give me that look. I think that's what's happening. And I think...
Wait. Yes. Rewind that for a second. So you're saying...
The Department of Justice...
was behind the shooting?
Yeah.
So our government was behind a shooting spree?
Yeah, I believe it.
Okay.
It would be so great if that's what it is. That would be so great. Anyway, validation.
I just wanted to clarify that before.
Yeah. I think that the Department of Justice is behind hiring whoever shot Lucas and was supposed to kill Dre as well. Just Dre got out of the car.
Okay.
And I think that Jeannie is going to come on to... it's going to come on to Marty next week. And I think he's going to deny her at the end of the episode.
Don't say that. That's going to get me so mad if that happens.
Yeah, and there's only 2 episodes left, so I think he's going to deny her until the finale.
Well, my question is then real quick, back to the deal.
Back to my theory about the Department of Justice.
So does that mean Jeannie's involved? Because if that's the case, Jeannie is involved.
I think Jeannie's meeting with her friend led them to doing this action.
I don't like your theory. I'm just kidding.
No, that's fine. That's my prediction. Go ahead. Your turn.
I definitely think Dre is behind the shooting. I think it's going to be too easy because it's near the end of the season. We're going to have to get rid of his character and move on to the next season. So I think Dre's definitely behind it. Clyde is going to go over the edge with the deal going wrong.
McClintock, yeah.
And he's going to... I actually think he will hit rock bottom at the end of the episode, or end of the season. He will be cliffhanging at the end.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then that's all I got. That's all. The only main key parts. You hit pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm Roya Taheri, and you can find me on Twitter at HeyRoya, that's HeyRoya, and on Instagram. Yael, where can we find you?
The people can find me online at yael.tv, that's YAEL.tv, and on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Yael Tygiel, that's YAELTYGIEL.
Until next time, guys, thank you very much.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.